I want to show you something.
You create yourself to make it. You're going to have to either let that creation go and take a chance on being loved or hated for who you really are, or you're going to have to kill who you really are and fall into your grave grasping onto a character that you never were.
I love this. And I love it, especially coming from someone like Jim Carrey, because I've talked about this before, but he's a prime example of someone who has literally gained everything that this world has to offer. Like, bona fide movie star, loved by millions, money, status, the whole deal. And he is someone that I deeply respect because he's been very open about his awakenings over the years. And that's not an easy road. So let's go on a little drive here. It has been raining all day. So I'm hoping it doesn't rain. I've got my expensive camera here on the hood of my car. But I always like getting that cinematic look. So it comes down to authenticity at the end of the day. And in order to be truly authentic, you have to make peace with being perceived as bad or negative by society, or potentially your family or your tribe. And a prime example of that for me was being raised in a very deeply fundamentalist religious home. And, you know, this video isn't to shit on religion or anything like that, but essentially I was raised in such a way where anyone who was either of another religion or an alternate lifestyle, basically if someone was a homosexual, if someone was a Muslim or Buddhist or some other religion, then they were going to hell, you know, and we judged them. And these are the kinds of beliefs that I was installed with, basically, from a very young age. And my whole life, I subscribed to these beliefs, didn't really question them. You know, we went to church every Sunday, actually twice a week. And there was this air of judgment of people outside of what we believed in, essentially. And as I grew up, I got tired. I couldn't hold up this facade anymore. And because I knew deep down within me that the truth of God was not in alignment with these things. And when I began to question these things and began to basically operate in a different way, I lost friends, I lost family, I lost, you know, people that were perceived as my community. But I didn't care anymore. I needed to be authentic to what I knew was the truth that was within me. And that was that, you know, people, regardless of what religion they are, what their beliefs are, I'm not superior to those people, and neither are you. But that's just one small example, you know. Another example is like in dating. So many guys change who they are because they want to attract women. And this is the whole nice guy concept, right? And this is why, you know, the whole nice guys finish last thing is actually true. And I'm glad that's the case, because women are intuitive enough to tell that this like really nice guy, that's not actually who he is. And women might not be able to put that into words, but, you know, they'll say things like, whenever they give dating advice, they're like, oh, guys just need to be themselves. And it sounds really simple, but it's actually way more complex than that, because the inner work that it takes to truly be yourself, not just to be yourself, but to first discover yourself, to discover authentically who you are, How do you speak to people? How do you smile? What are your interests? Genuinely. And it's very rare in this modern age where people begin to question who they're being, to go within themselves and be like, why do I do the things that I do? Why do I act the way that I act? And 9 times out of 10, you'll find that it is a program that was put in place, that you put in place for survival. So that way you would be accepted. Another example, when I was in high school, there was this short period of time where I was like starting to become like the class clown. I was a freshman in high school. I had a lot of anxiety. I wasn't very cool at that age. And I noticed that if I acted in a certain extroverted, goofy way, I got a lot of approval. Other kids would laugh, girls would laugh, and it felt really good. And so I like really leaned into that. I would even almost become sort of like, slapstick clown humor. I was trying to be, this is the era, I'm showing my age here. This was the era when that show like Jackass first came out. And so, I would just do things to sort of like make a fool out of myself. And I became known as like that kid, that funny kid. And then like halfway through the year, I got this overwhelming sense that something was off. And so I just sort of stopped doing that. And so guess what? The attention stopped, the laughs stopped, but I started to feel a little bit more peace. And so even at that young age, I was getting glimpses of what it meant to pursue your own authenticity. It was like an experiment, essentially, that happened unknowingly. I wasn't even aware of what was happening. So you're going to want to take time to go within yourself, examine all these different things, examine your beliefs, examine how you carry yourself, and especially one of the biggest tests is how you act around women. So many guys change themselves when they're around women. They either act more macho or they try really, really hard to be funny. And you probably have a genuine humor within you. But it's going to take time. It's going to take some experimentation. And a lot of times we do have to pretend. We do have to act a certain way and see if it feels right. Not just if we're getting approval from the external, but does it feel right within you? When you behave a certain way. A good exercise for this is allowing yourself to have a dedicated season of solitude where you are not basking in the external feedback loop. It's like, oh, people respond positively, so I'm going to act this way now. Or, oh, people respond negatively now. I'm never going to express this opinion or this viewpoint or this creative outlet ever again because externally people are not giving me the validation. And it's a trap. It really is. And I believe that's why so many people are unhappy and they develop this character. They desperately want external validation. And there's no judgment. It's understandable to desire to be accepted. But when you begin to do deep inner work and you begin to do like spiritual work, you start to genuinely not give a fuck anymore. And not in a macho way. There's people out there, oh, I don't give a fuck what anybody think. No, truly, genuinely, you're okay with yourself. You've made peace with who you are. You love yourself. And now when you operate in the world, you're able to just be who you truly are. And other people around you feel more at peace because they can sense that you're comfortable in your own skin. And this opens up a whole new world for you. It opens up a whole new ability to connect with people in an authentic and genuine way. And this is the only way to truly make an impact in this world, honestly. Because most people have bullshit detectors. They can see right through the facade. They can see through the macho act. But it takes some deep work to let go of that stuff and become who you truly are. Allowing yourself to have a dedicated period where you figure out your deepest values, who you are, what you want, and career is a big part of this as well. How many of us are working jobs that really don't do anything for our soul and we don't feel any sense of purpose? We're doing it strictly for a paycheck. You have to work to break out of whatever box you're in, especially as a man. Your life's purpose and your life's work, it means a lot. It needs to be in alignment with who you are. So at the very least, you know, there are jobs that are stepping stones, you know, like dead-end jobs. You know, there's nothing wrong with working those jobs for a time as a stepping stone. But there should be something that you're working on the side that fills you with meaning and purpose and is an outlet to basically contribute and give value in a way that you're serving others. Because that's where the real magic is, and that's where the fulfillment is. And that's the best avenue to practice your authenticity. And, you know, for instance, even this channel, with every video, you know, I watch them back, you know, I edit these, and it gives me an opportunity to really examine my own authenticity. And you know when you're being authentic. You might hear something, you might hear yourself say something back, you know, if you make a video, and a part of you cringes a little bit, but not necessarily from judgment, but just like, ooh, that's not fully truthful. There's something there that's out of alignment. And then you make little corrections. You course correct that. So it takes a lot of intention. And, you know, dating also helps with that. You can kind of recall your interactions with the girl and you'll think about things that you said where you were just trying to like show off a little bit, right? Or you were trying to, you know, impress her essentially. And you'll have that moment of like, oh, okay, that wasn't true. That wasn't authentic. This is something that you're going to have to put work into, because the default is that programming that we have, those protection mechanisms that we have in place that have been there since we were little kids. You know, we knew that if we behaved a certain way, it seemed like we received a little bit more love or attention from our parents. And so even if something wasn't authentically us, we were trained to act a certain way. And that's understandable as children, but you're a man now. You know, we're at that point now where we want to cultivate higher awareness and higher consciousness and question all of these things, all of our behaviors, you know, and get to that point where you can hold eye contact with another individual and really listen, really be present with them, because you've learned how to really be present with yourself and listen to the inner world. You know, you've learned how to really take note of your emotions and what you're feeling, because, you know, our emotions are messengers. So all that being said, I guess to summarize this, become aware and allow yourself to be perceived as bad or negative by the external world, because it's worth it. It really is. Even if you lose every friend that you have and you're in solitude for a period of time, the inner authenticity that you'll cultivate will ultimately make you happy. You know, I think most people are miserable because deep down they're living a lie. They're not being true to who they are. And that takes real intention to get to that point. So I hope this video helps you. I want to mention that I do offer very in-depth one-on-one coaching and mentoring. If you're at a place in your life where you are financially stable and you think working one-on-one would be beneficial, then click the link in the description, book a discovery call, whether it's needing help with some of this internal work or external things like fitness in dating, I can help you with that. And yeah, it's been amazing so far. I love my one-on-one clients, and it's been really powerful to see the transformations both internally and externally. And I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm grateful to be at the point now where I can give some guidance and help guys who are looking to go deeper and to really go all in on this. So that's it for me tonight. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Hit the like button, and maybe put something in the comments like this landed, or something else very random like, I can't believe he showed us his balls. Just to confuse the people who just jump straight to the comments and didn't actually watch the video. I think that would be funny. So, you are loved, you matter, and you've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. I'll talk to you soon.
The shadows are part of you. It's a part of everybody.